I'm sure you've heard of the exploits of General George Armstrong Custer, Civil War heroics, his death at Little Bighorn. George had not only one but two younger brothers. One of them, Thomas Ward Custer, was a double Medal of Honor winner and died with him at the Battle of Little Bighorn. If you like the content on this channel, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the History Buff. Thomas Ward Custer was born on March 15, 1845, in New Rumbley, Ohio, almost 6 years younger than Armstrong. Tom grew up idolizing his brother and wanted to follow him into the military. Although technically too young for enlistment at the outbreak of the Civil War, the 16-year-old Tom lied about his age and was mustered in as a private in the 21st Ohio Volunteer Infantry on September 2nd, 1861. After seeing the Battle of Stones River in 1863, Tom was assigned escort duty to Brigadier General James Negley, a detail he continued until November of that year, when he briefly became an escort to General Ulysses S. Grant during the Battle of Missionary Ridge. Following the battle, Tom was reassigned to escort duty for General George Thomas. After re-enlisting in January of 1864, Tom remained on escort duty in the Western Theater, while in the East his brother was promoted to Brigadier General of the 6th Michigan Cavalry. Shortly after obtaining the command, Armstrong moved to have Tom transferred to his unit. With the help of General Thomas, he succeeded in getting Tom mustered out of the 21st Ohio, commissioned to 2nd Lieutenant, and reassigned with his brother to the Michigan Cavalry. Tom reported to his new unit in November of 1864 and was assigned to his brother's staff as an aide-de-camp. Guarding against perceptions of favoritism, Armstrong Custer purposely detailed his brother to the most arduous tasks, causing Tom to remark, "If anyone thinks it is a soft thing to be a commanding officer's brother, he misses his guess." Tom Custer's first display of gallantry would come during the Battle of Waynesboro in March 1865, when he successfully led a charge over the Confederate breastworks. While leading another charge over an enemy barricade at Namazine Church on April 3rd, Tom noticed the color bearer of the 2nd North Carolina Regiment. Galloping towards the soldier, Tom not only seized the flag, but also secured the capture of 14 prisoners. It was this act that resulted in his first Congressional Medal of Honor, which was officially issued May 3, 1865. At Sailor's Creek, 3 days after Namazine Church, Tom again charged a Confederate color bearer, who, shooting first, wounded Custer in the face. Although injured, Tom quickly returned fire, killing the soldier and capturing the flag. The dramatic scene was later described in a letter from Henry Capehart to Libby Custer, Armstrong's wife. And it says, "I saw your brother capture his 2nd flag. It was in a charge made by my brigade at Sailor's Creek, Virginia, against General Ewell's corps. Having crossed the line of temporary works in the flank of the road, we were confronted by a supporting line. It was from the 2nd line that he wrestled the colors single-handed, and only a few paces to my right. As he approached the colors, he received a shot in the face which knocked him back on his horse. But in a moment he was upright in his saddle. Reaching out his right arm, he grasped the flag, while the color bearer reeled. The bullet from Tom's revolver must have pierced his heart. As he was falling, Captain Custer wrenched the standard from his grasp and bore it away in triumph." After capturing the flag, a bloodied Tom raced back to his brother, shouting, "Armstrong! The damned rebels have shot me, but I've got my flag." Handing the banner to an aide, Tom intended to ride back into action, but his brother ordered him to report to a surgeon instead. When Tom refused to leave the field, Armstrong had him placed under arrest and taken to the rear. For his Sailor's Creek action, Tom was awarded his 2nd Congressional Medal of Honor on May 26, 1865. Fortunately, the bullet fired by the color bearer traveled through Tom's right cheek without causing any significant facial damage. After receiving treatment from his regimental surgeon, he was sent to recover in a field hospital at City Point, Virginia, thus ending his Civil War action. After the war, Tom was commissioned into the regular army as a second lieutenant, eventually following his brother into the newly formed 7th Regiment, U.S. Cavalry, stationed at Fort Riley, Kansas. In September 1873, Tom accompanied Armstrong to Fort Abraham Lincoln in the Dakota Territory, the new home of the 7th Cavalry. Tom Custer was with his brother Armstrong on June 25, 1876, when both lost their lives fighting the Sioux and Cheyenne warriors in the Battle of Little Bighorn. When Tom's body was found 3 days after the battle, laying just 20 feet from his brother, it was badly mutilated, so much so that it could only be identified by the TWC tattoo on his right arm. Originally buried on the battlefield, his body was exhumed in July of 1877 and reburied at the Fort Leavenworth National Cemetery. Now you know your history.